Big welcome to you, my dear Scorpio. You're getting a second time the sun in Pisces, giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. And so we have here the 13th major arcana, the 18th major arcana, and the 19th major arcana. And we're going to the right, we're going to your full moon, which you're going to have in your opposite sign, which is Taurus, right? And so you see that the sun directly is now through the moon, through Pisces, right? Because in the tarot, Pisces is the moon, giving you the energy to look at what is it that you really need to change, really need to come into terms with, because Neptune, right, the hanged man, which is ruling Pisces, is moving into Aries, and Aries is taking action. You are not anymore dreaming about what it is that you want to change, right? You are taking care of it. And it's a big change, the same way Pluto, which is ruling you, and Pluto is the new age, right? It's the new aeon, is in Aquarius, and it moved last year in November into Aquarius. And we feel the change. We feel the change through the way we think, and the way now machines and AI, etc., are taking really the next level in communicating with us as humans, right? And so here comes also a moment where you are reckoning, okay, Neptune is moving into Aries, and Aries is the emperor. Aries is the one that says, let's take action. And so here you getting a second time, right? Back then you had Pisces Sun giving Scorpio Moon the light. So you're getting a second time that Pisces is bringing you here this important message. And so we see that the transformation that you can go through looking deep within, and also at the same time knowing that there is light, that you can see what is going on. And that's what the sun does, right? The sun is giving the light to all. It's never saying, no, I'm not going to give you the light because you're bad. The sun is there, the moon is there, and so is, of course, Neptune. He's there, and he invites us to let go of things that don't work anymore. And so maybe in your dreams you get information to know what it is that you gotta do. And also then, you being ruled by Pluto, you understand that there is a new aeon now happening, and we gotta really adapt to it. And so Pluto, which is the shadow side, and also the mystic in you, will bring you this information. Now the yoga position for Pisces, of course, fish pose, upward dog, and downward dog. And the yoga pose for you, you get really Scorpio pose, one of the most difficult poses, but once you're in it, you're like, okay, I get it, right? It's this total focus, and in there we transform. You are Odin, you are hanging on the world tree, and you got the rune alphabet and you're pointing at it. And so here is your court card, your physical aspect. If your birthday is between October 13 and November 12, then is this your court card, right? Remember that the dates for the court cards and the dates when the sun is in Scorpio are different. So there is a pure Scorpio happening, and then there is a mix where the court card has a different soul aspect, right? So look in the description below. I have listed all of them there. You are, as a Scorpio, always the mystic, right? That comes from Pluto. Pluto is influencing you strongly, but you're also the 8th zodiac sign, and as such connected to the 8th house of transformation and secrets, right? And you love to go deeper. You want to know how everything is functioning, and that's what we see here, right? You are hanging on this tree of life for 9 days, and that's when the information came of the rune alphabet. And in the rune alphabet, of course, we see that we have created one of the first languages, right? Of course, beside the Sumerian language, etc. Now, the last reading, like I said, Pisces Sun gave Scorpio Moon the light. The message was the Elixir of Life card speaks clearly, my dear Virgo, right? And so I can look at the reading that you had last time and recognize if there is a reoccurring card coming up again, wanting to talk to you, and there is not a reoccurring card. And so we can begin and let go of this reading. Apparently you did understand the Elixir of Life card, right? So we begin with O down. So O down, like I said, he's hanging upside down. In a way, he's the Hanged Man. And so the Hanged Man is the 12th major arcana, and you are hanging here, and you are the mystic, and you are awakening again and again to new and deeper mysteries. Because what is coming is Bridget from Ireland, the daughters of Cups, right? And that's you as a young person. You knew deep down that you are becoming a mystic, right? We have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. And so Pisces is bringing you as a young person, is bringing you also the Pisces energy and the Cancer energy, because they're all healers in their own way, right? But you are here the mystic, and in that mystic perspective you always had those questions. And so here comes the 8 and the 3, which is an 11. That's the inner teacher. That's a portal, a 1-1 portal. And in there you recognizing that you become creative in the way you see the one, right? That union that we always talk about. Now, what is the Mother Piece Tarot bringing? You getting the Sun of Swords to the right down. And the Sun of Swords is Gemini. That's the communication. And you see he's in this deck not such a nice person. He's quite a little bit brutal with his words, and he in his actions as well. And so he's pointing down. So maybe there was a Gemini in your life that did not really help you, right? With the way you understood the mystic of the union. And so here the 3 zodiac signs and the 3rd zodiac sign becomes a 33. Now that's a portal. That's the next level. Here you had the 11, and immediately now you're going to 33. So this communication, right, because Gemini is all about communication, is maybe the reason why you have searched more and more for your inner truth, right? Because when Gemini comes down like this, so he's pointing down, and maybe it's not like that anymore because it's facing down and it's facing to the right, and that's the outer perspective of life, right? Each time when the card points to the right, it's to the outer aspect of life, and when the card points to the left, it's to the inner aspect of our life, right? And so here it goes down and to the right, and that's why I think this communication is finished, right? That this type of brutal, really honest talk is finished, right? But maybe also that you are finished with talking to yourself in a way that is not conducive, right? That you are starting to begin to change that you talk more loving about yourself and your past. Now, what is, of course, Gemini bringing? He's bringing you the Fool. And so that's the new beginning, right? That I see here. You begin to talk about yourself in a completely different way. You let yourself fall, right, into the right. But when we see that someone is falling into the right, when we become the card and we look down and we see, oh, he's falling actually to the left. So everything that we do in the outer world becomes eventually some truth in the inner world, and whatever we then also recognize in the inner world becomes eventually the action that we take in the outer world. And so the 33 is here, and the 8 I leave by itself. With the 0, that's the 80, right? Becomes strong in the way you now take action to be the revolution, to be the one that says, well, I'm gonna let myself fall into the field of all possibilities. Now, what is, of course, Uranus saying? Because this is Uranus, planet of a revolution, right, and change. It's bringing you the 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands, that's Saturn in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius comes after you, and so maybe you have some Sagittarius energy in you. So in a way, the 10 and the 0 becomes 100. 100% you letting go of taking actions that go against you, taking actions that are not conducive for you anymore. And that's what's coming here, right? Here is the communication. This is a sword. This is an air sign. Here is you, right? The 8 and the 3, which is the 11. The 11 and the 10, there is a 1 in there, 3 times the 1. Empower yourself to understand the union and the one that is talking here to you. And this is coming from Pisces. A second time you're getting the chance to look deep into what you can change, right? And so you can change a lot by not being part of the victim anymore, of those people who push others to the brink of really extinction, right? And so you understand really clearly that this is over, this pattern is over, and this self-talk about yourself is over. You don't want that anymore. And that's the message here, right? That you are clear in the way you now want to go forward, right? The 10 is the end. It's a new one with the 0, and the 0 is here, and it's saying, yes, use only one wand, and that wand is the wand that is going to catapult you forward in the actions that you're taking. And Saturn, that's always the world, right? Saturn in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the doer, and that's what is connected with the Wheel of Fortune, which brought you the Elixir of Life card, right? And so have a look at that. Now we're going to look at you, at the Death card, right, at the transformation. And the first thing that's coming is the 8 of Pentacles. And that's being clever. When you're clever, you know that this 8 and your 8 are connected. And in that 8-8, you know how to deal with money, because your opposite sign is Taurus, and Taurus is the money, is the bank, are the assets of the world, right? And so the way we use the resources of the world, the way we use stones or anything, right? Any product that we're using is coming from the earth. And so here we have Mercury in Virgo, and Mercury is the magician, is the information that comes to us. And so the 13 turns into a 4, the 4, and here the 8 is the 12, and the 12 is the Hanged Man. So you are using this hanging upside down. It's really good for you. You should really do inversions. You should learn handstand, headstand, and even Scorpio. Those Scorpios are quite advanced position, right? Please only use a teacher that can teach you that. But the 12 becomes again the messenger of let go, right? The way you know how to handle money. And then the 3 appears, and that's Venus. Venus is the Empress. Now, what is coming from Pisces? The 5 of Wands is coming, and so you see that we have 10 wands and 5 wands. That's 15 wands, and 15 wands is Capricorn. That's the career, that's like the attachment to the money, that's the attachment to social status, right? And in that 15 you see that you worked hard, you were in a pattern, and now you even testing yourself, and you're going into the totality of trusting someone and swinging here into oblivion, right? And so the 15, remember that the money, and of course the 15 and the 8, that's the 23, and in the 20 is the Aeon. Money is going to be handled in a completely different way now, because we know that Pluto is in Aquarius, and Aquarius is an air sign, and everything is going to be like money that's not really physical money anymore, and even the banks are going there right now. And so you need to observe that and watch that. So the 5 is left, right, when we calculate the 23 together. But here we have the 15, and the 15, when we calculate it together, we always want the 1-digit number, because that's where we come into the singularity of the energy of the number, right? And so the 6 is here, the 6, and of course the 8, that's the 14, that's Sagittarius. So Saturn in Sagittarius, right? Now here the 5 of Wands, which is Saturn in Leo. So we have Sagittarius in Leo, but both are connected with Saturn, which is the father figure, which is the world, which is that finger that is telling you you can do it, right? But the 6 together here, these two, then we get the self-love. So love yourself, and then the 5 appears as well through the 14, right? The 8 and the 6, the 14, the 5 is left. Yes, test yourself, but be careful, right? Don't overdo it. Don't do things that maybe in the end are dangerous, right? Because you just wanted to test yourself. So the 14, which is here, and of course the 13 is the 27, and the 9 appears. But I can also calculate here the 14, I make a 5, and here the 4, I also get the 9, right? So no matter what, you arrive at the 9, at the completion, at that state of consciousness where you're realizing, okay, yes, I have all this money, and now how am I going to play with it? Now what is coming from the mother piece story? You're getting the moon upside down, right? Upright, the moon card looks like this, and you see that there's a lot of mystical signs in there, and so now it's facing down, and it means that the moon is almost, right, letting you know, well, I'm gonna turn myself upside down, so that you, when you're hanging here on the tree of life, you are seeing that the moon, since it's round, no matter how the moon is placing itself, it's always upright, and you can turn the card upright, right, with the round cards. And so the 18 is clearly talking that a second time you're getting the Pisces, Sun in Pisces, and you understand that the 18 is important here, because the 18 turns into a 9. So then you have a 9-9 portal here. And in that 9-9 portal, you understand 2 times the 9, become creative, how you see the completion in all of this, in this whole message. But what is the moon bringing you? And I get here the many masks, the authentic self. And the authentic self looks like this, right? So here we have the 38, and the 38 again is the 11. So I'm going to leave the 11 by itself. So understand that you had the 11 here with you, Odin and Brigitte of Ireland, right? You can check what Brigitte of Ireland means. And I'm not going to go into her story right now, but she was an extraordinary personality. So here you had an 11. So be your authentic self, and this is what is coming up, right? Because you had her following this way. You had her, and now you are realizing you want to be your authentic self. And this is what's coming up here, because here you have an 11-11 portal. 11-11, right? It could be the 11th of November, So there you have the 11:11 or 11:11 o'clock, right? Those are the signs that are coming to us. And so see that the moon is bringing you now a second time this message and say, be your authentic self, right? Do not care about how you actually go into the totality or how you using the money, but be your true self. And this is a beautiful message, because here we have a 9 and here's the 11, so this is 9/11 or 11/9 as a new date, right? So watch, observe, and see always how are these cards talking to you, right? And remember the 15, turn the 15 into a 6. That's really important, because that's then the self-love that you are learning, right, to come back to as that young personality that you have been once, right? So that's the many masks, right? Let them go. And the 11 here is talking clearly about that's the portal for you to reach to the next level. Now we're going to look at Pluto. What is Pluto bringing you? And Pluto has its own deck, and here comes the hang through. And this is really interesting, right? The hang through is kind of like keep on going. And we have the number 75. So we had the 5 here, right? The understanding that you going into the totality, the hang through, and you understand that something is really important coming here to you, is letting you know something. And I'm gonna read you this card, and so you understand what's all about, right? Mimir's well. Mimir's is the well that is at the tree of life that you are hanging, right? And you can see he's pointing down, and you see here this opening. And this is the well of wisdom. And so Mimir's well of runic wisdom, a time out of time where all are welcome. Hang, suspended. Hang suspended with sublime intention. Sacrifice something sacred to scrutinize your present perspective. Mimir's instruction is clear. What that is precious to you are you willing to give to the well, so you might be well? Nothing is free. For the welling up you must offer up a fair cost, or you'll stay lost. Will you hang true? And here's the word review, right? So look back and see who you have been. So research her, right? She's your ancestor. She is the one that is bringing the new generation of you to you. And this is powerful. It's a very powerful energy, because you also got then the Fool. Remember, you let yourself fall into who you always have been, and you are letting go of the masks that you over time have put on. And so hang through. The new Aeon is bringing you now here the 75 plus the 20 is the 95, and the 95 is again the 14 Sagittarius, right? Letting go of taking your actions to another level, and understanding that you had 100, right, with the 0, and letting go, right, of that. So then the 5 is left, and the 5 is, well, then go into the totality. Test yourself if you can really let go, right? And so this is powerful, right, information that is coming to you. So the 14 is here. That's Sagittarius, that's Temperance. Come into your center between water and fire, between masculine and feminine. And the 5 is left. And the 5, those are always the 5 senses that we're struggling with. but through them we can see this world, but also our inner world. And then of course 15, right, we had the 5, and here the 1 is like in the 15 we understand we have 5 senses until the throat chakra, and then the 1 is up here in the third eye, and that's where the 6 is, the 6th chakra, the third eye, the inner seeing. Then I want to see what is coming from your deck, and you're getting the 4 of Pentacles. And the 4 of Pentacles with the 8 of Pentacles are 12 Pentacles. And now again, the 12, really the Hanged Man is talking. You who is hanging here upside down, right, is understanding more and more what that means, how liberating that is, how that freedom is coming to you. And so 8 and 4, the 12, right, the 12, the Hanged Man. Understand that 12 is also the 12 zodiac signs, and the 12 turns into a 3. The 3 is the Empress, and that's Venus, and Venus is empowering you now to see the finances from a completely different perspective, because here we have Sun in Capricorn, right? And so observe how the 5 that was left from these two cards, the 5 and the 4, is the 9. So you're coming into a completion again, because the Sun in Capricorn sometimes makes us a little stingy, makes us hold on to money. But you see how they are arranged, these stones, and it's a really beautiful pattern, and the 9 is coming, and the 9 is the completion. Then I want to see, of course, what is the Mother Piece Tarot bringing in. You're getting Aquarius to the left down, and Aquarius to the left down is, again, now you will see this is a woman in a well, and here is Mimir's well. Now you are seeing that she is upside down. It's almost like she is hanging upside down like you. And so the message, this is really clear, she's letting herself fall into the well. And you see that she is here in the water, and you have here the 75, which is, when we calculate that together, also a 12, right? The 12 and then the 3. Here the 17 becomes the 8. The 8 and the 3, that's the 11. That was here. This, the 11. The 11. I mean, it's powerful, right? This message is really powerful. The 11, the 3 and the 8, the 11. I mean, this message is really powerful, really strong. And so the 17 and the 3 that was left here is the 20. That's the last judgment. That's the aeon. That's the new time. And here the 20 and the 4 is the 24, together the 6. The 6 and the 20 years, the 26, that's the 8. The 8 is left. You are left. And so Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius is pushing you now to do what is coming up here, to become you, to really let go of the masks, to really become you again, the way you were when you were younger. That's why you let yourself drop into the pool of all possibilities. And here you are. You fell into it. You are in it. The age of Aquarius is here, right? And so, I mean, this is so powerful. The 20 plus the 17 is the 37, and that's a 10. The 10 plus here the 3 is the 13, and the 13, that's you. Out of the 13 we get a 4. Then we have a 4-4 portal. You see how you can play with numbers and tell the story in many different ways. So find your story. But I want to see, what is Aquarius saying? Aquarius is bringing you the Hangman. I mean, this reading is continuing to the next level. It's so mysterious, right? And so the 12, the Hangman, is here. Let go, really let go. The 12 becomes the 3, right? And so we can add to the 8 again the 3, then we again have an 11 here. And in the 11, we know that's the portal that where you begin to understand how all of this functions, how this world is so mysterious. And that's what you, of course, love, right? You love the mysterious aspect of life, and it's pushing you into it, right? Aquarius is pushing you forward, because here the 8 of the 17 and the 3 of the 12 becomes again the 11. I mean, however I move it, right, you get really the mystery of how life can be. And so, of course, I want to see what is bringing you the Hangman, and you getting the Athlete, right? Here I have Carolyn Miss deck, and here we have the archetypes, and the Athlete is, of course, having a light and a dark attribute. And because you are hanging upside down, we're going to look at this. There are some cards where actually the Osho deck, the Hanged Man is actually upright and is having a new vision and is pointing up, and so that's the only time when I look at the light attribute. But the Hanged Man is wanting to look at the darkness of the Athlete. And so I'm just gonna read to you. The light attributes are dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps, development of personal willpower, and strength of spirit, right? So that's when you are clear in what you're doing when you're an athlete. But the shadow attributes are misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability, and entitlement. And so observe the entitlement that you think you should have, because you have the ability to be this physically strong personality, because you're hanging upside down, because you're going and doing those things that clear you. Then you should also be humble with it. And so look if you have a selfish side inside of you, or that sense of a false sense of invulnerability or entitlement, right? And so it's really interesting how this is pushing you to look at yourself in how you see then also this totality, because you have to be fit here as well, right? How you let yourself fall, right? How you learn the hang on in there, right? Keep on going, keep on going, keep on pushing, but not for a false sense of self, right? And then you learn that the Hanged Man is literally saying, okay, you have been this personality. You are letting those masks fall, right? So that you can then be in the water of here, the well, right? The well of Mimir. Mimir, who brings you the information, who lets you know that, well, hang on in there, right? And get yourself through it, because there's no other way, right, to describe this. It's kind of like, well, if you really want to live this aspect of yours, which is what you are, right? You choose to be a Scorpio in this lifetime, then understand Pluto. Understand that Pluto is bringing you shadow and mystic, and the depth of it, of letting yourself fall. The 20 and the 0 is the 200, right? The depth of letting yourself fall 100%, right? In letting go of things that just don't work for you anymore. And so then what's left is kind of like, well, how total can I be? How much can I let drop those masks? That's what Pisces is bringing you, right? The moon is bringing you, hey, there is your subconscious. Do you see who you are? What is your true authentic self, right? I mean, this is so cool. This whole reading is amazing. Is really powerful. And you know that the 12 Pentacles is then the 3, which is Venus, the Empress, that creates new things and trusts all the information that comes to her so that she can create new energy. Wow. I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the Sun in Aries, right? And that's when, of course, Neptune is going into Aries, and that's going to be a big shift and a big change in all of us. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.